Welcome back to the YouTube, guys. So today we're in for pool and we are now 6 weeks into the pre-prep diet. So moving through pretty nicely, and I'm enjoying showing you guys kind of the journey through the pre-prep, like the start of it, where I'm now, like not at the halfway point, but a little bit further into it now. And training's still going really well. It's a little bit more challenging, but it's still going very well. And I think today is a really good test for that because it's potentially one of the more challenging days because it's surrounding back training, and I find for me and for most people, to be honest, back training is hard to retain as you get lean, especially through hinges and things that rely on stability. So we're going to kind of talk about that discussion of how you can retain your back as much as possible in a diet phase, so you can create that like ripped, full look to your back at the end of it. Because there's no point doing a diet phase and then at the end of it, your back literally just disappears, and you just, you know, because people do that. I've seen people, they do a prep and their back disappears, and it's because of how they've set up their training. So we'll talk about that today. I am 7 kilos down in this phase now, nearly. Well, I was 89 today, which is 0.2 off, 7 kilos off, which is pretty quick, but assertive in what we wanted to do. So yeah, get ahead at the start really, and then we can slow it down from kind of here onwards. I'll be going down from 89 kilos now to 81 kilos in 9 weeks time. So pretty easy compared to what I have done. And yeah, got the Team Power Coaching tops in, so thought I'd address that. As you can see, these are in white. I have ones in black, but these will be going out to all competitors this year, and also clients that would want that. If clients want any, just let me know and I can get some more ordered as well. But yeah, let's crack on. We've got stiff legs today, which is the main kind of challenge for myself when I'm dieting, is retaining them stiff legs. We'll talk about how I've kind of approached that. We'll either do 210 kilos or 220 kilos, depending on how warm-ups are moving and how I'm feeling. But yeah, let's get into it. I have this new pre-workout in Human After Dark. I got it from Elite Subs, and it is very good. Probably the strongest pre I've had. But I'm enjoying the pre-workout now. Usually when I'm pushing up body weight, it doesn't really work, but now I'm dieting, I can definitely tolerate the stims. And I've always enjoyed it, like just having a bit more aggression in my sets and, you know, just feeling pretty stimmed up. Just a little tip when you're hinging, and what you want to think about is when you're in that stretch position, so when I'm back all the way up here, or down here, I want to think about my hips being tilted back, so in an anterior tilt. So when I'm hit down here, I'm trying to go like that with my hips. See there, not here. If I pull from here, I have no output from my glutes. They're like out of the movement. So some people really struggle to get it short because when they're down here, they're like this. Look at what I am now. Anterior tilt, pull. Now I get to halfway up, I'm in the anterior tilt, perfect. Now I pull into a posterior. So it's like going from an anterior to a posterior, not getting stuck in a posterior, and that's why mobility matters in your hinges. So yeah, it's just something to think about. Let's hit that. I retained that. I'm more than a kilo down since last time I did it. And I went in thinking, like, if I can do 220 for 5 again, that would be a huge win, considering the body weight drop. And it felt heavy warming up. You'll notice as you get leaner, your first rep feels worse and worse and worse. But that's where you need to just drive that ownership as much as you can, just be in control of the weight. And the biggest tip I could give you on a hinge, especially a stiff leg, which I've noticed is a bit harder to retain than the conventional, just simply because of the extra stretch position you're pushed into requires or thrives off more stability. So to feel strong in that stretch position, improve your ownership massively through that eccentric. Like, you're at the top, you're like, right, I'm going to control this weight throughout that entire eccentric. And it will get harder as you get leaner, especially in that stretch position. You'll be like, oh, because you're lighter. That's where you've got to really double down on it. So if you see my hinges, the control, as I get close to failure, is slow. Every rep I'm like, all right, slow, controlled. Because if you're just flying through it and you're just like throwing it about, the muscles are almost like turning on and off. And to stay engaged and to stay strong and well braced as you reach into that stretched out position is way harder if you're not prepared for it. And the only way you prepare for it is slow eccentrics, where you get more stimulus from anyway. So it's like a double win there. So yeah, just control all the way through and you'll retain much better. Four donuts, as you can see. Something I've recently really discovered is when you're training your mid-back, if you actually want to get more of a stretch through your mid-back and more of a connection with your mid-back, try and keep your spine in an extended position throughout. You've probably seen it, like a load of bodybuilders, back in the day especially, like people do T-bar rows and they'll come round, they'll flex their spine and they'll round out like this, thinking that they're getting more protraction through the scap. But they're just moving this. Protraction really is like the distance of your arm away from your upper body in this position to then take your scapula through that. So on the T-bar row now, what I'm trying to do is keep my chest up throughout and just stretch away from me. And what it immediately does is I can kind of be in a very good position into the short, as opposed to having to go like, which everyone does, or everyone has done. I mean, I made the mistake not long ago at all. For years doing it like that, but I've really learned now. I get a much better connection. Just keep your spine in more of a fixed position. So I've just done 2 sets of the neutral grip pull downs. And I just wanted to talk about like something you need to think about when you're doing this is just keeping your torso right where you want it to be throughout the set. So I've spoken about this before with single arm pull downs, like finding the tension and keeping it there. It's like you pull down, you feel your lat, and you just stay in that position. When you're doing neutral pull downs, like feel the tension in your lat, come down, and just extend your spine, push your chest up, and then feel yourself in that stretch position. You're like, right, I'm hanging in this position now. Because I'm hanging in that position, I create maximal stretch through my lat, because I'm not under here, I'm out here. And then you just stay in that position, and you just drive the elbow down. I see too many people who do pull downs and they're like, and you're just limiting movement through your lat. So keep your chest as still as you can, keep your body as still as you can throughout the set. And just think about everything from here not existing. Elbows, try and create as little tension through your hands, your forearms. Just feel some pressure through your hand and just drive those elbows down, and it'll feel spot on. One thing I would advise when you're training in a deficit, and a big deficit, is just take your time. So I'm just purposefully kind of trying to take my time a little bit more in this session, because when you're like peak push, it's very easy just to rush through your session. Sorry, not rush, just take forever in your session, because you need to, because you're out of breath, you feel sick. When you're lean, it's very easy to rush through it just naturally. You're like, I feel I can go again. But your recovery actually isn't there. And if you do that, it's going to be hard to sustain performance. So I'd really recommend just taking a bit more time and just making sure you're not rushing the process, so you can stay fresh going into each set. Because your recovery set to set in terms of muscularly, even though fitness-wise you will feel better, your recovery and your ability to be fresh into the next set will take a little bit longer, especially when food is in a much lower position.
And again. Move. Come on. Come on. Come on.
So we've finished the mid-back work, we've done lat work, biceps and short, driving the elbow to the hip. And now we're just working more of like the upper lats and training more of a stretch position. So the single arm row, I'm really just getting the biggest stretch I can possibly get. And I think single arm row is something that I wouldn't knock until you try, because it just feels incredible. The pump that you get in the lat is just absolutely phenomenal. And the rationale behind it is just because of the stretch that you can create in a very stable environment. Like the ability to bring your upper arm across your body in a very stable environment makes such a difference. It's very good if you, like I would say this work is really smart to do if your back typically doesn't have as much in the top lats. So if you look at your back double and you feel like when you're hitting the back double, here is developed. There's lots of density to your lower lats. But when it comes up, you don't get that same level of width. I'd really recommend doing this because it just does hit the mid and upper lats really nicely, versus like something which is just straight on elbow to hip, which works more lower lat. But I promise you, even if you're really flat, you come out of a set like that and your lats are so pumped, your whole lat as well, even your lower lats, it's the best feeling. I come out of it and it's like, not literally, I'm not going to pose like that, but you feel like you're posing like that because the pump's so good. This is the last piece of direct back work I'm doing, which is the Nautilus pull down but terrace bias. So you're kind of dragging out and into your armpit just to work up here. I like this at the end because it drops off a lot, so it feels pretty productive at this point. Whereas a lot of the other things in my setup would feel less productive at this stage because they're all heavy in the short. Pretty much every single movement I've done is most challenging in that short position versus this. So yeah, just doing this at the end, but it feels really nice, and I managed to retain it for a long period of time because it just drops off so nicely, so I can keep that kind of control for the set where I want it. If you want your arms to look really big and most muscular, you just go like that, or like that, but you're way more dealt like that. Just go like that. Yeah, that's what you just peeled. No! Oh, fuck. Yeah, so that's a wrap for today's pool session, which was a very, very good session. Really, really happy. Yeah, just over the moon with performance across the board. Everything pretty much progressed, and hopefully it was insightful in terms of like how I set up my training, kind of to retain as much as I can in terms of stability, control, ownership, and also managing my volume. For the most part, volume stayed the same this session. I've been absolutely fine. I do get 2 rest days now until upper, so it usually works absolutely fine. And yeah, pretty positive session. I think, yeah, we'll probably be able to run with this volume maybe through the entirety of this pre-prep diet, considering I'm probably like, well, not the flattest I'll get, but I'm pretty flat. And yeah, I don't think much is going to change with that. You probably saw the line leg curls at the end. That's like top up work for my hamstrings, which works really well. I forgot to talk about that, but I just do a rest pull set, and it's like really good top up work I've been doing, because my side leg is kind of potentially a slightly weak area. And you saw me pose a bit post workout as well. I just pose in a lot at the moment, because just seeing the look change, and it's quite motivating. It's a nice feeling, you know, feeling leaner, seeing the changes daily is really exciting. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video as always. I appreciate you guys supporting. There's been a lot of support on the YouTube the last couple of uploads, and you know, it really does mean a lot to me, because you know, we're trying to be as consistent as we can, but sometimes it's difficult with, you know, work and stuff. But putting these uploads out every week and seeing the support continuously is so motivating. And I know, like, when the prep happens, we're gonna have an amazing series for you guys to watch. We'll definitely ramp the uploads up to like twice a week, 100%, which will be good. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching as always, and yeah, I'll see you soon.